안녕하세요. 미디어 심리학 5주 2차 강의를 시작하겠습니다. 오늘의 주제는 챕터 5 의식입니다. 지난 시간에 의식과 무의식에 대해서 다루었는데 이번에는 수면과 꿈에 대해서 설명하겠습니다. 수면은 마음과 뇌가 경험을 생산하는 기능을 중단하는 일종의 무의식적 상태를 생산할 수 있습니다. 꿈은 의식의 변형된 상태라고 하는데 세상과 마음에 관한 정상적인 주관적 경험으로부터 이탈된 형태의 경험 유형입니다. 변형된 의식 상태에서는 생각, 느낌, 행동에 변화를 가져올 수 있습니다. 밤에 수면을 취하고 있는 동안 일어나는 일련의 사건들은 인간 생활의 주요한 리듬 중 한 부분인 수면과 깸의 주기입니다. 이 일주율, circadian 리듬은 자연적으로 일어나는 24시간 주기입니다. 여기서 circadian rhythm, 일주율이 어떻게 측정되었는지 관련 동영상을 보시겠습니다.
In 1962, a cave explorer named Michel Sief started a series of experiments where he isolated himself underground for months without light or clocks. He attached himself to electrodes that monitored his vital signs and kept track of when he slept and ate. When Sief finally emerged, the results of his pioneering experiments revealed that his body had kept to a regular sleeping-waking cycle. Despite having no external cues, he fell asleep, woke up, and ate at fixed intervals. This became known as a circadian rhythm, from the Latin for about a day. Scientists later found these rhythms affect our hormone secretion, how our bodies process food, and even the effects of drugs on our bodies. The field of sciences studying these changes is called chronobiology. Being able to sense time helps us do everything from waking and sleeping to knowing precisely when to catch a ball that's hurtling towards us. We owe all these abilities to an interconnected system of timekeepers in our brains. It contains the equivalent of a stopwatch telling us how many seconds elapse, a clock counting the hours of the day, and a calendar notifying us of the seasons. Each one is located in a different brain region. Sief, stuck in his dark cave, relied on the most primitive clock in the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, of the hypothalamus. Here's the basics of how we think it works, based on fruit fly and mouse studies. Proteins known as CLK, or clock, accumulate in the SCN throughout the day. In addition to activating genes that tell us to stay awake, they make another protein called PER. When enough PER accumulates, it deactivates the gene that makes clock, eventually making us fall asleep. Then, clock falls low, so PER concentrations also drop again, allowing clock to rise, starting the cycle over. There are other proteins involved, but our day and night cycle may be driven in part by this seesaw effect between clock by day and PER by night. For more precision, our SCNs also rely on external cues, like light, food, noise, and temperature. We call these Zeitgebers, German for givers of time. Sief lacked many of these cues underground, but in normal life, they fine-tune our daily behavior. For instance, as natural morning light filters into our eyes, it helps wake us up. Traveling through the optic nerve to the SCN, it communicates what's happening in the outside world. The hypothalamus then halts the production of melatonin, a hormone that triggers sleep. At the same time, it increases the production of vasopressin and noradrenaline throughout the brain, which help control our sleep cycles. At about 10 a.m., the body's rising temperature drives up our energy and alertness, and later in the afternoon, it also improves our muscle activity and coordination. Bright screens at night can confuse these signals, which is why binging on TV before bed makes it harder to sleep. But sometimes we need to be even more precise when telling the time, which is where the brain's internal stopwatch chimes in. One theory for how this works involves the fact that communication between a given pair of neurons always takes roughly the same amount of time. so neurons in our cortex and other brain areas may communicate in scheduled, predictable loops that the cortex uses to judge, with precision, how much time has passed. That creates our perception of time. In his cave, Seif made a fascinating additional discovery about this. Every day he challenged himself to count up to 120 at the rate of 1 digit per second. Over time, instead of taking 2 minutes, it began taking him as long as 5. Life in the lonely, dark cave had warped Seif's own perception of time, despite his brain's best efforts to keep him on track. This makes us wonder, what else influences our sense of time? And if time isn't objective, what does that mean? Could each of us be experiencing it differently? Only time will tell.
수면의 주기는 단순한 작동과 꺼짐 이상입니다. 많은 신체적 혹은 심리적 과정들이 이 리듬에 따라 밀려왔다가 밀려가기 때문입니다. 수면의 5단계에 걸쳐 뇌에서 베타, 알파, 세타, 그리고 델타파에서 EEG 변화가 나타납니다. 그림은 수면 단계 동안의 뇌파 패턴입니다. 깨어있는 동안에 관찰되는 고주파의 베타파가 졸린 상태와 이완 상태에서는 저주파의 알파파로 바뀝니다. 1단계 수면에서는 저주파의 세타파가 관찰되고 2단계에서는 수면 방치와 케이보캅이라고 불리는 불규칙적인 패턴이 나타납니다. 3단계와 4단계는 주파수가 가장 낮은 델타파가 나타납니다. 렘 수면 동안의 뇌파 패턴은 깨어있는 동안에 관찰되는 베타파와 유사한 고주파의 톱니 모양 파형으로 특징 지어집니다. 렘 수면은 눈의 빠른 움직임과 뇌의 높은 활성화 수준이 특징인 수면 단계입니다. 이때 가장 자주 꿈을 꿉니다. 눈을 제외하고 신체는 움직이지 않습니다. 밤 동안의 수면 단계입니다. 초기 동안에는 깊은 단계가 일어나고 후반부에는 얕은 단계가 나타나는 것을 볼 수 있습니다. 주기의 후반부로 갈수록 렘 기간은 더 길어지는 것도 관찰할 수 있습니다. 수면과 수면 욕구는 연령에 따라 다릅니다. 평생에 걸쳐 깨어있는 2시간마다 1시간의 잠을 자는 꼴입니다. 일부 사람들은 수면이 낭비라고 생각하지만 이것은 틀린 생각입니다. 잠을 자지 않으면 우리의 기억은 쇠퇴합니다. 렘 수면과 3, 4단계 수면 부족은 건강에 해로운 결과를 가져옵니다. 수면을 방해하는 장애 중에서 가장 흔한 것은 불면증입니다. 잠에 들지 못하거나 수면 상태를 유지하기 어려운 것입니다. 수면 무호흡증은 수면 중 짧은 시간 동안 호흡을 멈추는 장애입니다. 몽유병은 수면 중 일어나서 걸어다니는 경우입니다. 기면발작은 깨어서 활동하는 동안 갑자기 잠에 빠지는 수면 발작이 일어나는 장애입니다. 수면 마비는 잠에서 깨어났을 때 움직이지 못하는 현상입니다. 야경증은 공포와 강렬한 정서적 각성과 함께 갑작스럽게 깨는 경우입니다. 인솜니아, 불면증에 대해서 UCLA 대학의 건강수면센터의 아비돈 박사의 말을 들어보겠습니다.
When we look at sleep initiation difficulties, sleep maintenance difficulties, or early morning awakening, those are the type of symptoms that patients present with. Now they can have a combination.
처음에 잠이 잘 안 들 수도 있고 중간에 자꾸 깰 수도 있고 너무 일찍 일어나서 다시 잠이 안 들 수도 있습니다.
Now take a look at this. As we grow older, the rates of sleep disturbances tend to go higher, and so does insomnia.
그래프에서 보듯이 나이가 들면서 불면증은 증가합니다.
We also think of insomnia as being transient or acute. That has to do with an exam or pain or hospitalization versus chronic insomnia, which tends to occur with depression and
며칠간 일시적일 수도 있고 몇 달간 단기적일 수도 있고 크로닉, 만성적일 수도 있습니다.
there are predisposing factors, there are precipitating factors, and there are perpetuating factors.
불면증에는 3가지 요인이 있습니다. predisposing, 소인이 있는, precipitating, 침전하는, perpetuating, 지속적인 경우입니다.
Any patient who has insomnia right here expresses insomnia as a clinical problem. But you have to have predisposing factors, and predisposing factors include individuals who have an anxiety disorder or depression.
세 가지 요인이 합쳐져서 트레시홀드를 넘으면 불면증이 발생합니다. X축의 프리클리니컬은 임상적으로 아직 불면증이 발생 안 한 상태이고 온셋은 막 시작한 상태, 숄텀은 단기간, 크로니컬은 만성적으로 불면증이 있는 경우입니다. 만성적으로 갈수록 우울증과 같은 지속적 요인의 영향이 더 커집니다.
She has bright light. The hour is 3:20 a.m. and she has bright light. She's awake. She has a bottle of Jack Daniels behind the alarm clock. That's never a good sign in a patient with insomnia. Having alcohol it's enticing because alcohol relaxes you.
불을 켜고 자거나 술을 마시는 것도 불면증을 일으킬 수 있습니다. 술은 잠이 드는 데는 도움이 될지 모르지만 중간에 잠이 깨어나게 합니다.
Here's a breakdown of some causes of insomnia. Take a look. About 2/3 of patients that we generally see probably have some underlying behavioral or psychiatric issues.
불면증의 가장 큰 원인은 psychiatric, 정신적 문제나 psychophysiologic, 심리생리학적인 문제입니다.
So let's talk about sleep hygiene because that's really the main issue, the main work that we usually recommend patients when they present with insomnia. And here are a list of some do's and don'ts. And most of you are probably familiar with this, but I'll review. Here's the first do. Enhance your sleep environment. Dark, bedroom, quiet, cool temperature. By cool temperature, I mean something around 68, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Cooler is actually better because it allows for and promotes the secretion of melatonin.
수면 위생을 위해서 해야 될 것들입니다. 방안을 어둡게 하고 조용하게 하고 16에서 18도 정도로 쿨 템퍼레처를 유지합니다. 약간 낮은 온도에서 멜라토닌 분비가 촉진됩니다.
Increase light exposure during the day, not during the night. So we want to maximize light in the morning and afternoon.
밤이 아니라 낮에 햇빛을 충분히 쏘입니다.
Relaxation routine, deep breathing. Some people do yoga before bedtime.
호흡 훈련이나 요가를 통해서 몸과 마음을 이완시킵니다.
Reduce the time in bed in which you are awake. So if you find that it takes you 15 minutes to fall asleep and you haven't fallen asleep, you need to get out.
침대에서 깬 상태로 오래 있지 마십시오. 잠이 오랫동안 안 오면 일단 일어나서 다시 잠을 자는 것이 낫습니다.
Regular exercise, but in the morning or early afternoon, never too close to bedtime. Actually, regular exercise early in the day with maintaining a regular sleep-wake schedule.
아침에 규칙적으로 운동을 하는 것은 수면에 큰 도움이 됩니다. 그러나 자기 직전에는 하지 마십시오.
Here are some don'ts. Do not watch the clock. Why is that? Well, you're going to look at the clock and you're going to feel more and more frustrated. Why it is now 2 or 3 in the morning and you haven't been able to fall asleep. So get rid of the clock. No iPhones, no iPads, no computers. Get rid of electronics. I see a lot of patients who, if they can't fall asleep, they take the computer and they start doing puzzles while they're in bed. Never a good idea.
다음은 하지 말아야 될 것들입니다. 잠이 안 온다고 자꾸 시계를 보지 마십시오. 스마트폰을 사용하거나 컴퓨터를 사용하지 마십시오.
The use of stimulants, particularly caffeine and tobacco, is never a good idea, especially too close to bedtime. If someone decides to have caffeine during the day, enjoy a cup of coffee or two, as long as they do that before 1 o'clock, it should be fine. Anytime after that, the caffeine is going to stay along in the bloodstream and can actually affect the sleep architecture. Nicotine, especially e-cigarettes, and caffeine gums should not be used too close to bedtime.
카페인이 든 커피는 오후 1시 이후에는 드시지 마시고 니코틴이 들은 담배는 가급적 피지 마십시오. 특히 수면 시간이 가까울수록 불면증의 원인이 됩니다.
A heavy meal, particularly with alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime, never a good idea. Having a light snack, granola bars, yogurt, banana, probably very helpful because it actually gives you a little bit more melatonin, and melatonin is very conducive to improved sleep.
자기 3시간 전에는 식사를 하거나 술을 드시지 마십시오. 요구르트나 바나나는 멜라토닌을 촉진하기 때문에 수면에 도움이 됩니다.
Use of bright light during the night and computers, as I've mentioned, never a good idea. Get rid of all electronic gadgets. We see a lot of students who come in and they have to do computer work, and they do that up until the very last minute before they go to bed, and they cannot fall asleep because the light exposure from the computers actually stimulates the circadian clock and keep you awake. So have electronic silence. No computers, no electronic gadgets that emit light.
밤에는 밝은 빛을 사용하지 마십시오. TV나 컴퓨터도 마찬가지입니다.
Say no to alcohol. No to alcohol, no to caffeine, and no to tobacco. Despite that, up to 28% of patients will use alcohol before bedtime because alcohol relaxes them. The problem is when you fall asleep, you stop drinking, and then you wake up. And when you wake up, you perpetuate the insomnia.
자기 직전에 술, 담배를 하지 마십시오. 술은 잘 때는 릴렉스에 도움이 되지만 중간에 깨어나게 되고 불면증의 원인이 됩니다.
So the electronic gadgets should be eliminated. Pick up a boring book. But when you read, don't read in bed. Go to a different room in a house and use dim light. And never pick a spy novel or something that's interesting, like reading the news. Pick up something that doesn't really interest you, something on the boring side, so you won't get interested in it and keep reading it until 3 in the morning.
침대에 누워서 스마트폰을 사용하거나 책을 읽는 것도 나쁜 습관입니다. 지루한 책도 침대에서 일어나 떨어진 곳에서 읽으십시오. 꿈에 대해 선두적인 수면 연구자인 디멘트는 다음과 같이 언급했습니다. 꿈은 우리 각자를 그리고 우리 모두를 우리 생애 매일 밤 조용하고 안전하게 미치게 한다. 우리는 꿈에서 이상한 것들을 경험하지만 더 기이한 것은 우리가 경험하는 비정상적인 것들을 우리가 쓰고 제작하고 감독한 것이라는 것입니다. 꿈을 깨어있는 의식과 구분하는 5가지 주요 특징이 있습니다. 강렬한 감정, 비논리적인 생각, 의미를 갖는 감각, 무비판적인 수용, 그리고 기억하기 어려움입니다. 꿈은 소망, 억압된 생각 또는 임의의 활동을 나타낼 수 있습니다. 활성화 통합 모델은 뇌가 수면 동안 무작위로 일어나는 활성화에 대한 의미를 찾을 때 꿈이 생산된다고 주장하는 이론입니다. 꿈은 우리 주변 세상과 관련해서 어떤 의미를 가질까에 대해 미국, 인도, 한국을 대상으로 꿈 이론에 대한 해석을 비교하였습니다. 프로이트, 학습, 문제 해결, 부사물 이론 중에서 고르게 했더니 다수가 꿈이 우리와 관련되며 깊은 무언가를 담고 있다는 프로이트 이론에 동의하는 것으로 나타났습니다. 꿈은 주로 시각적입니다. 시각적 심상을 담당하는 시각 연합 영역은 활동적인 반면에 시각 지각을 담당하는 주요 시각 피질은 비활동적입니다. 꿈을 꾸는 동안 뇌 fMRI 스캔을 통해서 정서와 시각적 심상을 담당하는 부분이 활성화되지만 계획을 담당하는 전두엽은 그렇지 않은 것으로 나타났습니다. 척추의 뉴런은 운동 근육 활성화를 억제합니다. 다음은 우리가 왜 꿈을 꾸는가에 대한 동영상입니다. 지금까지 시청하신 것으로 이번 차트 수업이 인정됩니다.
In the 3rd millennium BCE, Mesopotamian kings recorded and interpreted their dreams on wax tablets. 1,000 years later, ancient Egyptians wrote a dream book listing over 100 common dreams and their meanings. And in the years since, we haven't paused in our quest to understand why we dream. So, after a great deal of scientific research, technological advancement, and persistence, we still don't have any definite answers, but we have some interesting theories. We dream to fulfill our wishes. In the early 1900s, Sigmund Freud proposed that while all of our dreams, including our nightmares, are a collection of images from our daily conscious lives, they also have symbolic meanings, which relate to the fulfillment of our subconscious wishes. Freud theorized that everything we remember when we wake up from a dream is a symbolic representation of our unconscious primitive thoughts, urges, and desires. Freud believed that by analyzing those remembered elements, the unconscious content would be revealed to our conscious mind, and psychological issues stemming from its repression could be addressed and resolved. We dream to remember. To increase performance on certain mental tasks, sleep is good, but dreaming while sleeping is better. In 2010, researchers found that subjects were much better at getting through a complex 3D maze if they had napped and dreamed of the maze prior to their second attempt. In fact, they were up to 10 times better at it than those who only thought of the maze while awake between attempts, and those who napped but did not dream about the maze. Researchers theorize that certain memory processes can happen only when we are asleep, and our dreams are a signal that these processes are taking place. We dream to forget. There are about 10,000 trillion neural connections within the architecture of your brain. They are created by everything you think and everything you do. A 1983 neurobiological theory of dreaming called reverse learning holds that while sleeping, and mainly during REM sleep cycles, your neocortex reviews these neural connections and dumps the unnecessary ones. Without this unlearning process, which results in your dreams, your brain could be overrun by useless connections, and parasitic thoughts could disrupt the necessary thinking you need to do while you're awake. We dream to keep our brains working. The continual activation theory proposes that your dreams result from your brain's need to constantly consolidate and create long-term memories in order to function properly. So when external input falls below a certain level, like when you're asleep, your brain automatically triggers the generation of data from its memory storages, which appear to you in the form of the thoughts and feelings you experience in your dreams. In other words, your dreams might be a random screensaver your brain turns on so it doesn't completely shut down. We dream to rehearse. Dreams involving dangerous and threatening situations are very common, and the primitive instinct rehearsal theory holds that the content of a dream is significant to its purpose. Whether it's an anxiety-filled night of being chased through the woods by a bear or fighting off a ninja in a dark alley, these dreams allow you to practice your fight or flight instincts and keep them sharp and dependable in case you'll need them in real life. But it doesn't always have to be unpleasant. For instance, dreams about your attractive neighbor could actually give your reproductive instinct some practice too. We dream to heal. Stress neurotransmitters in the brain are much less active during the REM stage of sleep, even during dreams of traumatic experiences, leading some researchers to theorize that one purpose of dreaming is to take the edge off painful experiences to allow for psychological healing. Reviewing traumatic events in your dreams with less mental stress may grant you a clearer perspective and an enhanced ability to process them in psychologically healthy ways. People with certain mood disorders and PTSD often have difficulty sleeping, leading some scientists to believe that lack of dreaming may be a contributing factor to their illnesses. We dream to solve problems. Unconstrained by reality and the rules of conventional logic, in your dreams, your mind can create limitless scenarios to help you grasp problems and formulate solutions that you may not consider while awake. John Steinbeck called it the committee of sleep, and research has demonstrated the effectiveness of dreaming on problem solving. It's also how renowned chemist August Kekule discovered the structure of the benzene molecule. And it's the reason that sometimes the best solution for a problem is to sleep on it. And those are just a few of the more prominent theories. As technology increases our capability for understanding the brain, it's possible that one day we will discover the definitive reason for them. But until that time arrives, we'll just have to keep on dreaming.